Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're at a state park in Cummings, Georgia. It's called Shady Grove. We'll do a quick walk around and show you some of the sites. We're not going to do the whole place because it's over 100 sites and it's just way too big and too boring. Just about all the sites have 50, 30, 20 amp service. They have water. There's one central dump station at the beginning of the park, so plan accordingly. There's a lot of trees here, a ton of them. There's plenty of space in between the sites, so you have enough privacy. You're not on top of one another. If you're into Starlink or you need Starlink, good luck. There's way too many trees. We just barely got enough open space to get somewhat of a signal, but not much. The cool part about this campground is it sits on Lake Lanier, and there's a little history to this lake. Apparently it's haunted. So we'll tell you that story after we walk around and see some of the campground. There's 3 bathhouses, which are pretty big, and they're decent as far as being modern and clean. The water pressure here is huge, so you definitely need a regulator, or you can have some plumbing issues. So this is our site, number 69. It's a pull-through horseshoe type site. The site is made for a 27-footer, and we have 32. So it was a little bit of a job maneuvering to get in here. Most of the sites are like that. They're not really meant for big trailers. We got a nice little picnic area just below our site. So you got this little walkway here. We got the picnic table, a fire pit, barbecue thing. That's pretty much the way they're all set up. You see there's a little bit of a hill going up to the camper. But we have a little path down here, which will bring us right down to the lake. That was the first time seeing the lake. It looks like where we're situated, we're in a little bit of a cove area. There's a lot of boat traffic. So obviously it's a popular lake. Let's have a look. So this lake has a public beach and a public boat launch. So I'm guessing if you have a day pass, you can come in here and enjoy the lake. Obviously, if you're paid to camp here, you don't need that day pass. So there's a little popular cove. I hear a lot of boat traffic on and off. It's a pretty big lake. I'll tell you the story about this place later. Another cool feature of this park is there's deer everywhere. Site 78 through 85 is the outer loop, which is right, not on the lake, but close enough. So you can call it lake view, not really lake frontage. But you can see how close it is. Just about every site has a little path. You can walk down to the lake. And it's a typical state park. It's large, lots of trees, and there's enough space between sites where you're not on top of one another. It's also very clean. You have a whole landscape crew that comes in here. It's constantly blowing the road clean, blowing the sites clean, picking up whatever brush, trees are laying around. They're constantly cleaning. T-Mobile, yeah, it's all right. It's not the greatest. But there's nothing wrong with unplugging, enjoying nature once in a while. As you can see, these roads are narrow, which is why there's a lot of one-way roads here. When you come in here, you'll get a site map. You definitely follow the directions, because if you're going the wrong way, you're going to have a problem. It's a little tight for bigger rigs, especially the sites. There's a couple here that you can get some Class A's in, but most of them are 27, 28 foot maybe. So we got a 32 footer, just barely fit. It took a little bit of maneuvering. So site 84, and over there 85. 85 is handicapped area. You guys are right on the water. This is a really good site if you like the water. As far as, like I said, Starlink, yeah, hit or miss. Unfortunately, if you need Starlink for work, yeah, that's going to be a problem. There's Bambi. Well, there is a playground here for kids, just one, but it looks like it's blocked off. Must have been some storm damage or something going on. But it is something to entertain the little ones when it's open. Looks like that little rock climbing wall over on the other side. Get some video of these guys. Well, look at the little babies. The park has a lot of deer like this, just walking around. Hey, mama. You're going to be famous on YouTube. So sites 106, 107 are two group sites, and there's accommodations for 14 people, probably tents and RV combination. This is one of the bathhouses, one of three. You can see they're fairly new, well kept, and the water pressure is amazing. All throughout the park we have these pink dumpsters, so there's plenty of those around, so there's no reason to leave trash laying around. So get some exercise, take a walk, dump your trash, don't leave it. All right, that building in front of us is the visitor center or station on the exit side of the campground, and right next to it is the dump station. Typical old dump station, nothing special. Looks like they provide a hose, so if you want to backflush your tanks, you do it here, not at your campsite. Please don't do that. And we have some freshwater fill right here for drinking. Yeah, here's the entrance, Shady Grove Campground. Apparently, it is a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers project, this whole lake. See that address right there? Do not use that for your GPS. If you have a GPS that's specifically made for big rigs, it will not recognize that address. I'll post the address at the end of the video so you know which one to plug in. Right, here's the entrance to the park / campground. It is a gated community. You do need a code to get in unless you're visiting someone. Then you have to give them the name and site number so they can let you in. Now here's the public beach. And we have a company that's not open right now. You can rent paddle boards and canoes. It's clean, plenty of sand. Looks like the sand goes out into the water, so you're not going to be stepping in muck. So here we are walking back to our site. We see this, we thought at first was a little bear or something, some kind of animal. If you get up close and look at it, it's an oddly shaped tree. It's like 59, 60. You can see just about all sites have a lower level for your picnic table and stuff. You see how wooded these roads are and how narrow. Well, folks, that is a quick walk around of Shady Grove Campground in Cummings, Georgia. Like you said before, this place is too big to show you everything. Well, I showed you a couple sites just to get a gist of what the place looks like. Reservations only. They do not take walk-ins, so don't even attempt it. And this is gated, so upon arrival, when you check in, you'll get your gate code. So if you come in after hours, you can get in. There's also a gate in the exit side, but that's sensor activated. Lake Lanier in Georgia, northern Georgia, the foothills of the Appalachian Mountain, was created by U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the 50s. It was created to control the Chattahoochee River for flooding. It was made for recreation. It was also part of the Beaufort Dam project. So the lake has a little over 700 miles of shoreline. It's the largest lake in Georgia. Its deepest part is 160 feet. So it's a big lake. There's plenty of room for boating, fishing, whatever you want to do. There's a ton of stuff to do here. So prior to that, there was 2 racial cleansings at this lake. One was the 1830s, and the Cherokee Nation was here. This is way before the lake was made, obviously. The white settlers removed all the Cherokee Indians. I guess they just didn't get along, so they got rid of them. However they did that, killed them, chased them out, I don't know. Fast forward to the 1912, early 1900s, there was a town here called Oscarville. It was a predominantly black community. And there was a white woman that was murdered. So the white people blamed the black community, not just one person, but the whole community for the murder. And I guess they used that as an excuse to do a racial cleansing and force all of the black residents out of this town called Oscarville, which eventually they did. Harassed them, burned buildings, shot rifles in the air, whatever other violence they used. So eventually they all moved. And fast forward to the 50s is when the Army Corps of Engineers decided to make this into a recreational area. After the lake was completed in the 50s, it was originally called Sidney Lanier Lake, which is named after a prominent musician and poet. Years later, the word Sidney was dropped, and it's just called Lake Lanier. So the haunting part of this lake, a lot of the locals claim that the residents from Oscarville, the black residents, haunted the lake when they were forced out of here. And same with the Cherokee Nation. They say that a ghost from Cherokee Nation and the black folks from Oscarville haunt the area. So that's why whenever there's an accident or a death in this lake, they all blame it on past history. You can do your research, you can decide for yourself if it's haunted or not. Could be, who knows, could be just folklore or urban myth, don't know. So you all can decide on that. But it's a big lake, it's a nice lake, there's plenty to do. It's the largest one in Georgia, like I said, and it's a little over an hour north of Atlanta. So if you're looking for a weekend place or a nice campground, Lake Lanier, it's a great place. Lake Lanier covers roughly 58 square miles of land. So it has a lot of nooks and crannies and little coves. Has an island. Supposedly there's a Margaritaville restaurant or something. Not really sure. Interesting place. Back in the 50s, 2 ladies, Susie and Della, yes, I'm reading this. Young women were crossing a bridge in Lake Lanier. Susie was wearing a blue dress. I guess it was a car accident, and they both died. Residents claim that they see a young woman on the bridge wearing a blue dress with no hands. They say it's a ghost. She probably died before her time, and her business is unfinished. That was kind of a fun fact. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. If you're driving around at night, maybe you'll see her. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick video. And if you see us on the road, say hi. Thanks. Happy camping.